welcome to Dr. Deepa Dake's NEET Biology, and in today's session we discuss about the functions of plasma membrane or the functions of cell membrane. In class 11 the chapter is Cell, the Unit of Life. So here when we discuss about the functions of plasma membrane, because in last session we already study about the structure of plasma membrane. So function of plasma membrane, some common functions are there. Membrane. Common function, you remember, plasma membrane is protective in function. Second, plasma membrane responsible for the compartmentalization of the cell, because it is also present around the membrane is also present around the cell organelles. Because of that, the cytoplasm is broken down into small compartment. Secondly, the transport between the adjacent cell mainly take place by plasma membrane. So the main function of plasma membrane, you remember, transport. So here we first discuss about how the plasma membrane plays significant role in transport. When we study about the transport, so function of plasma membrane, we mainly study about transport. Now, transport we study under two headings. First, you remember, the transport is bulk transport as well as the transport is take place by molecule by molecule or single molecule is transported. That is commonly called membrane transport. Now what is bulk transport? Bulk transport, as the name indicates, the huge amount of molecules of food predominantly transported either inside the cell membrane or the undigested food and waste gives off from the cell membrane. So bulk transport, you remember, bulk transport mainly completed in unicellulose by cell membrane. Most common example for bulk transport we study in amoeba. Bulk transport, you remember, it is mainly completed in two methods. Either the intake of food particle is called endocytosis, and the removal of undigested waste from the cell with the help of cell membrane is called exocytosis. This part you remember. Endocytosis, simply you remember, endocytosis is the intake of food particles. Now you remember, the food particles are of two types. Either the food particles are two types of food particles are there. Types of food may be there, solid food or liquid food, and according to that, the endocytosis, you remember, is of two types. The one method is called as phagocytosis and another method is called pinocytosis. This part is important mainly for your theory exams. Phagocytosis, solid food is intake, and intake is take place by plasma membrane. In pinocytosis, you remember, the liquid food is intake. So intake of a liquid food in the form of food vacuole is called as pinocytosis. Now upon phagocytosis, food vacuoles are formed. Those food vacuoles are called as phagosome. So phagosome is a food vacuole, whereas in pinocytosis, the food vacuole is said to be pinosome. So this part you remember. When the phagosome food is enter in the form of phagosome or pinosome, that food undergoes in the process of digestion, absorption and assimilation. न्यूट्रिशन के phases clear होंगे आप सभी को. So the food is enter in the process of digestion, absorption and assimilation, and then after the undigested food as well as excretory substances are gives off through the cell membrane. That process is called as exocytosis. Some common term again we use for phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is also called as cell eating. Here the process is called cell drinking, and exocytosis commonly called as cell vomiting. This part you remember. And in exocytosis, removal of waste, undigested waste or excretory waste in the form of vacuole by plasma membrane or cell membrane is take place. So this part you remember. Now here you see, suppose this is the plasma membrane. Sorry, this plasma membrane you remember, the external surface of the plasma membrane comes in contact with food particle. Suppose the food particles are solid food particles. So this part you remember, this is a solid food particles. When these food particles come in contact with cell membrane, the invaginations are to be developed. The food particle is enter and gradually the cell membrane get cut off from the rest of membrane, and the food particle become, you remember, convert into a food vacuole. So food when bounded by food granules, when bounded by a cell membrane, then it is called food vacuole. In case of solid food, the food vacuole is said to be phagosome. Now the food particles inside the vacuole undergoes in the process of digestion. After that, the absorption is take place, and that digested food is used in the process of assimilation. Now, in exocytosis, this vacuole contain some of the undigested food particle. So these are the vacuoles which are not useful for the cell. So slowly these vacuoles again comes in contact with the cell membrane, and food vacuole move towards the loop of the cell membrane, and after some time it gives off or cut off from the rest of cell, and in that way the food comes out of the undigested food or waste comes out of the cell membrane. So this you remember, this process, the process by which the food particles are entered and result in the formation of food vacuole. This process is called as endocytosis, either the phagocytosis or pinocytosis, and the removal of waste from the cell membrane with the help of cell membrane, that process is called as exocytosis. So these two processes you remember for the process of, mainly आप study किसको study कर रहे थे, bulk transport. That means the food is transported in the form of mass or in the form of bulk amount, that is in the form by the process of endo or exocytosis. Now we come towards the membrane transport. Membrane transport means, you simply remember, the food is transported across the plasma membrane according to concentration gradient, as well as when the food is transported according to concentration gradient. So one thing you remember, instead of bulk transport, one by one molecular transport is take place. So now let's we discuss about the membrane transport. So now we discuss about the second type of transport, that is membrane transport. When we study about this mode of transport, so here you remember the two types of transport is there, passive and active transport. So as you already know, passive transport means the transport which is take place according to concentration gradient, and because of that the metabolic energy ATP is not utilized. So passive transport means, you remember, in simple terms, ATP not utilized first, and second, you remember, the transport is take place according to concentration gradient. Whereas when we study the active transport, so you remember ATP is metabolic energy, ATP is used, and generally these transports are take place against concentration gradient. So these two major differences you remember for the active and passive transport. Now here we study what are the different ways of passive transport. When we study about passive transport, so here you remember passive transport predominantly take place by the process of diffusion and osmosis. In addition to that, some ion channels are also there. These ion channels also responsible for passive transport, but up to your syllabus you mainly remember passive transport is take place by diffusion as well as it take place by osmosis. When we study about diffusion, so you all are knowing diffusion means the molecules of solid, gas or liquid transported from their own higher concentration towards their own lower concentration. Secondly, when we study the diffusion, so diffusion you remember when simple molecule by molecule diffusion is take place, so it is called as simple diffusion. As we appear in case of gaseous respiratory gases are diffuses according to concentration gradient by simple diffusion. The second most important here you remember is facilitate diffusion. So in facilitate diffusion you remember some special proteins are required. These proteins are called as carrier proteins. Carrier protein show conformational change and responsible for transport. Mainly facilitate diffusion is used or carrier proteins are used for the transport of those molecules for which membrane is generally impermeable. So this part you remember. In this section we study that how does the facilitate diffusion is take place, because this is the main function of plasma membrane. But if you go through the NCERT, so facilitate diffusion is explained in plant physiology section where we study about the transport in plants. So in transport in plant chapter में आप देखते हैं the different kinds of diffusions to be explained, but this is the main function of the plasma membrane. When we come towards the facillate diffusion, so in facillate diffusion, you remember, generally when we draw the plasma membrane, so first you remember, suppose this is the plasma membrane, and on this plasma membrane, the special proteins, integral protein already you studied. So special proteins are present. These proteins are called as carrier proteins. With these protein, and this is the molecule for which generally membrane is impermeable. So this molecule, this is the outer surface, and this become an inner surface where the cell cytoplasm is present. Now the molecule in next process, the molecule is attached with carrier proteins, and it will result in the formation of carrier ion complex or carrier molecule complex. If ion is there, so the carrier ion complex is formed. If the molecule is there, then carrier molecule complex is formed. This is after followed by the conformational change in the carrier protein. That means you remember here the protein molecule rotate at 180 degree. When the carrier protein along with that molecule rotate, it's at 180 degree. So because of that, you remember the molecule which is earlier present at outer surface, now the molecule comes towards inner surface, and because of that, you remember the molecule is transported with the help of these carrier protein, and then the complex carrier ion complex, you remember complex is broken down, and this ion or molecule which is present at the outer surface is releases towards the inner surface. In the same way, the molecule which are present at inner surface, they can be moved across the cell membrane or plasma membrane and comes at outer surface with the help of carrier protein. So here you remember, in diffusion of such molecule, carrier ions or carrier proteins provide a facility of transport. Therefore, this kind of diffusion is normally called as facillate diffusion. So this part you remember. And in passive transport, then we study about osmosis. So I am not going to explain the osmosis here, because in plant physiology section जिन students को doubt है, I will provide a link here. So you go through that link and understand the osmosis concept, because already we completed the osmosis in transport in plant section of the plant physiology. And simply osmosis, I revise the definition here: the process of transport of water molecule across the plasma membrane from their own higher concentration towards their own lower concentration. And the process of osmosis, again you remember, take place only up to the state of equilibrium. So this part you remember mainly for the passive transport, that is diffusion and osmosis. Now during diffusion, when single molecule is diffuses, at that time you remember the passive transport also involved the three different methods, that is these modes are called as uniport, second is symport, and the third is said to be antiport. So these different kinds of transport, passive transport, you remember. Again, main function of the plasma membrane, and one term commonly you appear or go through the NCERT. So one term is provided for the transport of water, that aquaporine or water channels. So water channels are commonly called as aquaporines, And aquaporine means, you remember, the proteins, intrinsic protein, which play significant role in the transport of water molecule or in the transport of water soluble molecules. For that protein is called as aquaporine. So now first we study what do we understand by uniport, symport, antiport, and then we discuss about the active transport. In active transport we mainly study about the sodium potassium pump. So here first we discuss about uniport, symport and antiport. Here you remember this is the plasma membrane or cell membrane, and when we study about uniport, uni means simply, you remember, a single. So when the transport of one by one single molecule is take place, and this transport is always be take place in a same direction or in one direction, then that transport is called as uniport. For the example of uniport, you remember the diffusion of oxygen we study or the diffusion of carbon dioxide study. So oxygen is always be transported towards the cell or inside the body, and one by one CO2 molecules are always transported outside the body. They are always transported on their own concentration. So here you remember the transport of molecule or the transport of ion always be take place singly, that means on their own, as well as throughout the life the transport is take place only in one direction, then that transport is called as uniport. So suppose this is the molecule A, and this molecule is always be transported from outer surface of the cell to the inner surface. So entirely this molecule every time transported in the same direction. The second we study, second is called as symport. Symport means, you remember, when the transport of two molecules always be take place together. That means the molecule, suppose this is a B molecule and this is the C molecule. So the B molecule for its transport dependent on C, or you can say the C is dependent on B. So when both the molecule transported together but they transported again in same direction, then it is called as symport. Common example for symport, glucose mostly transported in the form of glucose 6-phosphate or glucose 1-phosphate. So glucose generally whenever transport, it always be transport with the phosphate molecule either inside the cell or outside the cell. That you remember example for the symport. Transport of respiratory gases is generally take place in same direction on their own. So it is example for the uniport. And third we study, third is most important, that was the antiport. Anti means opposite. So antiport means, you remember, the already we study in the process of transpiration when the opening and closing of stomata is take place. At that time आप study करते हैं the ion exchange, potassium ion influx and the hydrogen ion efflux. So here you remember the ions of similar charge when transported in opposite direction. So two molecules or two ions transported at the same time, but every time they transport in opposite direction, then that kind of transport is called as antiport. So this part you remember, this is the another function that you appear during the process of transpiration between the potassium ion and hydrogen ion. The similar kind of antiport we also study in chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena, so that you also go through that sessions of the circulation, body fluid and circulation in human beings. So over there also when we study chloride shift, so chloride shift also one of the example, good example for the antiport. So this all the functions, whatever transport are take place, these transport you remember predominantly take place with the help of plasma membrane. Now we come towards the second part of the membrane transport that you remember called as active transport. So when we study about active transport, so ये अब आपको नियरली क्लियर है कि एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट मीन्स द ट्रांसपोर्ट विच इज टेक प्लेस अगेंस्ट कंसंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट एंड सेकेंडली एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट अगर आप स्टडी कर रहे हैं सो एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट मीन्स द ड्यूरिंग द ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल और द ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ आयन एटीपी इज असेंशियली रिक्वायर्ड एंड जनरली एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट के लिए we use one term that is whenever the active transport is take place, the uphill transport we say uphill transport of ions or molecule is to be take place. So this part you remember. Active transport, the common example for active transport you remember the sodium potassium pump is one of the most common example take place during impulse conduction. So nerve impulse conduction, how does the nerve impulse conducted? That is the different part that we will study when we study about the nervous control and coordination. But whenever the nerve impulse is conducted across the neurilemma or exolemma, at that time you remember the sodium potassium pump is activated and for the transport of sodium ion cell requires the ATP. So that part you remember when you study about the sodium potassium pump. So here you remember the normally membrane of the neurons, these are the carrier proteins which allow or sodium gates commonly we say. Sodium gate means the gate which only allow the transport of sodium ion. Whenever sodium ions are transported, here you remember the external surface of the neurons or the axon is external surface is positively charged and inner surface is show the negative charge or you can say it is less positively charged. That we will study in details. When the impulse is conduct or the stimulation is generated, external stimulus or internal stimulus, the sodium gate open and the sodium ions from outer surface start to move towards the exoplasm. So this kind of for 3 sodium ion you remember the 2 potassium ions are to be transported and for this kind of transport you remember the ATP are most or ATP are required. That part you remember for the active transport. So under some special conditions only the active transport is take place. Otherwise in most cases in plant whenever membrane is involved, membrane you remember responsible for the passive transport. So this major function of the plasma membrane is performed by plasma membrane. क्या है आपके पास transport either the membrane transport or bulk transport. Secondly, in addition to that, you one important function, another function you remembered that this formation of plasmodesmata and gap junctions. So gap junctions and plasmodesmata are also developed by the 2 adjacent plasma membrane and plasmodesmata and gap junctions are developed. Why they are developed? Important is that are developed to allow transport between adjacent cells. So in between adjacent cell to allow the transport, plasma membrane show the gap junctions or develop the gap junctions and through these gap junctions cytoplasmic strands are passed. These strands are in case of plant these are called as plasmodesmata. So this much you remember because these are the some special functions of the plasma membrane. Adhesive pads, desmosome, number of other functions are there. but these part are in NCERT explained under the epithelial tissue. So when we study about the epithelial tissue, then we will discuss about the desmosome, macula adherens, different functions are there. So this much you remember for the functions of plasma membrane that I explain in today's session. And in next session we will begins with the endomembrane system. Cell wall अभी skip करेंगे. First we study about the endomembrane system and then we will come towards the cell wall. By that time चैनल के साथ कनेक्ट रहना है, as well as अपने पर्सनल लेवल पे भी आपको स्टडीज करते रहना है. वर्क हार्ड, give more and more time to your studies, and the students who are new for the session, they go through the previous sessions, as well as kindly subscribe my channel, like my videos, and by the new session जब तक मैं new topic discuss करने आऊंगी आपके साथ, by that time stay motivated, stay blessed and work hard.